All right, Visible. We have had a little bit of a brawl match between the AEA casters and the Fortnite spectator, but I think we are able to watch some of our games here. We have Chesburger rushing in to Cambu. We're here with match coverage for the final regular season match day. This is technically match number 2, but it's the first one we're getting to spectate. Visible, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. We're excited here at the AA to wrap the season up and see where the standings lie and get to some postseason action afterwards. So, three really important games being streamed today, and the results of that other game we're not able to spectate. Game one will also be shown at the end,
Yeah,
and of
included in
course
the
on the website
standings.
and everything.
For sure. And these players, they are battling it out. Right now, it matters most. You know, this is the last opportunity to get those points. Put yourself in the top 4, Visible. And the reason that's important, top 4, as the standings determine today, those players automatically qualify for the postseason competition, the postseason playoff match. All other teams, Visible, will have to play in a separate qualifier match in order to make it to that specific game that will determine who receives the accolades, the medals, and everything that comes with being the Spring Series champion. Could it be Hardcase and Benjamin Russ? Visible, is this Wolfpack Red? Is that right?
This is, yes, Alpha Esports Wolfpack Red with
Yeah.
Hardcase.
The Alpha Esports teams, they've been doing very solidly this season, we should say, retrospectively. I mean, they joined last season into the AEA, and I think they learned a lot, and they are putting a lot of what they learned to use here and now. Hardcase, incredibly evasive maneuvers here, getting out of dodge of some of these shots. I mean, I am actually impressed. This is the wealthiest individual if impulse nades were the form of currency in the world of Fortnite, Visible.
It's
And
been
still are getting chased down though. Like I'm amazed, Visible, that everybody is incredibly mobile in this matchup right now. Hardcase,
This is like the end of the second Spider-Verse movie, where it's just 1,000 characters
yes,
chasing
yes,
our protagonist here, and Hardcase has done a great job of staving it off for now. Might have gotten rid of the attention. I think the two teams that were seemingly teaming up to end Hardcase are now going at each other. Steph Curry uh,
oh, yep.
actually gets dropped.
I see some of the eliminations coming through there, and now Hardcase is turning the script around, now on the offensive themselves. Not sure where Benjamin Rush is, has been reloaded there, and now Hardcase is looking to find some shots, none landing quite yet. A little bit of an aggressive rotation. Visible getting into the box here could be the great opportunity to land a big shot and find that elimination.
Yeah, this will be interesting. So Hardcase, at
There's
the
a
moment, oh my gosh, takes out Steph Curry, and as you were talking about earlier, top of the leaderboards there, for Curry and LeBron of Carolina Storm Academy.
Yeah, that is a
And
massive elimination to get right now, Visible, but the time is ticking down. You need to also take out LeBron. You can't just take out Steph Curry. You got to take them both out, otherwise you're going to see the reloads come up, as this is still the early game section of this match here. And I think that is going to mean, if my count is correct, they might have been reloaded. Although, you might have mentioned that LeBron had already been knocked as well, Visible, so I'm not entirely sure if Carolina Storm Academy are in or are not in this matchup right now. But either way, a fantastic show put on there by Hardcase. And now we're hanging out with Grouchy Ethan Kitty and Focus Slayer. Is this Yark's Team Z?
it must be, yes.
Perfect. And so we're going to get to see how Yark's Team Z are doing. I do want to take a quick look at the standings. I believe they are just below our top 10 right now, Visible. And so for them to be here, competitive right now with a few eliminations in their bag, 3 eliminations, I mean, that's a pretty good place to be. And so not too upset with that. Hopefully they can turn this entire round into something pretty good. Being below the top 10, I'm not sure if it's in the cards for Yark's Team Z to break the top 4 and make the immediate qualification, but now's a great time to show the teams that when you come back for those qualifier matches, you mean business, and you're there to play, you're there to qualify, and then all scores are set to 0 for the postseason. Anybody can get it done. Laser beam from Grouchy Ethan Kinney here to get some good shots landing. Unfortunately, good shots received right back, and now it's just going to be Focus Slayer operating as a solo for Yark's Team Z, at least for a moment. Visible has to live long enough so that Grouchy Ethan Kitty can get the reload up. And Focus Slayer does not seem to be scared of the concept of getting into a fight here. Taking a high ground position, looking for an opportunity to engage.
Loving what we're seeing. Just the angles they're taking, the decisions they're making here for Focus Slayer. Surrounded right now. A lot of teams, a lot of action going on. But making the right moves. Oh, but does get surrounded. I think giving up the high ground there was maybe a mistake, and Hard Case is going to take advantage.
Another 2A
Chesburger.
him name along OG Leon. And that makes me think this must be the Roughnecks Red, potentially. This might be the Roughnecks Red roster. You know, a very formidable roster for Yark's Team Z to be head-to-head facing off against. And they really did make him sweat there. Finding a lot of solid damage, but ultimately 2AM You're Too Slow proved very, very useful with the shotgun. And look at them, Visible. They are looking to get into another skirmish, although there are multiple teams in the area and shots are coming in. Look at this circle here. We are mighty congested in this spot. I do kind of want to take a look at this from the Cheeseburger Cambu point of view. And Visible, maybe you can help us out with the roster here as they are taking an onslaught of damage and just fortifying their spot. Hopefully trying to dodge some of this damage until somebody else can intervene.
We're with NCEA Gold at the moment. They're being surrounded, and once again, well, they have a little bit. They have an angle here. They could maybe find Cam B. I don't know if they know if Cam B's right there. Gonna try to secure this little care package drop.
You're probably, that is Cam B, isn't it? I always say Cam Boo, but that's like, oh, excuse me. It's like an MIA6 situation, a 001. But in any case, Chesburger making a rotation off the back of the Impulse nades, put themselves right in the center of the storm here, Visible. We're down to just a handful of teams left, and Chesburger is one of them, but kind of in the central point. That can be dangerous if you're, you know, risking getting shot by multiple angles, multiple teams. Right now, it looks like they're okay. Let's kind of jump around and see who all we're hanging with. So we do still have Hard Case. Benjamin Rush not able to get reloaded at this point in the game. This could be a laser beam, Visible, but taking his time. I think it's probably a smart decision. Right now, Hard Case not in the circle. Don't want to risk catching too much attention. It's going to make the rotation back into Storm very, very difficult. Playing time wisely here. You're too slow, excuse me. And I'm not talking to you, valuable viewer. That is just our username here for a player of the Roughnecks Red roster. Hanging out with OG Leon on the high ground. Visible, this looks like a pretty strong position.
Yeah, this is a great spot to be in. It's to overlook the conflict a little bit, and they could third party this here.
Well, look at the
could be a
cluster.
decision they're gonna take a second here, just take a look at what's gonna happen, who's gonna die, who's gonna live, and then try to take out the surviving team. So should be a pretty textbook third party situation for them.
Somehow in that chaos, Chesburger has been eliminated by Roughnecks Reds. You're Too Slow. So that must have been utilizing that strong position. You said it, Visible. You said they were looking for that third party. I think they found it. Can be now on the low ground. 001, the original MI6 agent, looking for a window of opportunity. Head-to-head with a player right now, but not in Storm, Visible. So rotations will be coming soon. If these two players don't want to get into the fight, the game will make it happen one way or another. 200 IQ Dread, 2AM Dog. I think the North Carolina Platinum roster.
NCEA Platinum.
The Platinum roster. And look at this. They've fortified a great position on the high ground, overlooking the battlefield.
Getting a nice angle, using the brick, a little extra defense capability. They're going to give themselves a bit of time. Again, you see the best teams are never in a rush. They go at their own pace, just like the great players in any sport do. You can't really speed them up or slow them down. They do what they do, and you just have to find ways to find counters for their counters. Much harder to do than what it sounds like. And they have a nice little fortification here. Not my favorite positioning yet, but just like that, gets right to where I wanted them to go. Just get up.
Oh, but somebody else has occupied
wow.
their Skyrise apartment complex, Visible. There's a little bit of a squatter situation. 200 IQ Dread going to be dealing with that. There's multiple players. Look at them on the low ground, Visible. They are in a tough situation. We'll peek at their point of view. Hard Case, the ultimate low ground center mass here. A little bit of an opportunity in that it is difficult to get to them. But wait, Visible, they're making a move. Hard Case is ascending the ladder here, trying to get some positioning going. Nothing too strong yet out of that. Tulsa Roughnecks Red in the low ground as well. And North Carolina Platinum on top. Who is our last roommate? It's Camby. Camby here as well. So 4 teams still involved in this mix. 2 of them operating as a solo at this point.
This is NCE. Oh, yes, this is NCEA
Gold.
Gold.
Yeah.
Chesburger is down. Has what we call a puncher's chance, but it is a little bit desperate. It has to be said. This is going to be a tough finish for them.
This is a match that is coming down to some incredibly disciplined positioning, Visible. Everybody has fortified their locations, and they are waiting for the first domino to fall. As soon as somebody shows one step too far forward, chaos will ensue. And look at the damage landing on a 200 IQ Dread there. Very, very lucky to be alive at this point, and a sliver of HP remaining. Gonna get healed up here, but this circle is about to consume everything. Hard Case using the Impulse Nade, looking for a window, something to climb through and open this game up for the Wolfpack Red roster.
You're too slow, and Leon.
Leon was knocked there, Visible, it seems.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure what damage did that.
Leading out at the moment. I don't think they're going to be able to get him up.
Here's an ascent.
She's still popping up. Circle getting
This is
really
good.
tight, as you can see. We got nothing left. Great positioning, though. If they can't figure out exactly where he is, this is a very, very troubling. You're Too Slow could have a way into the fight now.
Roughnecks Red. They're taking this one surgically from top to bottom. Visible right above, not even aware. Hard Case is going to get eliminated. You're Too Slow in a 1v1 situation. Takes it against Cambu, and the Roughnecks Red roster win round 2. An incredible demonstration of their mechanical ability there. Visible after a very exciting match number 2. We are right into match number 3. Hanging out now with BDS Hawk. We see some activity starting there. Looks like Steph Curry and LeBron getting a couple of knocks and eliminations in the kill feed here. You might have to help me with the roster here for BDS Hawk, as we are roaming around the Lone Lodge.
Gold.
Roughnecks Gold.
Try harder and BDS Hawk. It looks like, though, BDS Hawk might be a solo today, unfortunately.
Yeah, players occasionally tasked with you know, that harder mission there of going into these games as a solo. Maybe the duo is unavailable, sick on the day, or something to that effect. But you gotta really respect the players that are able to come in, maybe not put up the numbers they would with their valuable teammate alongside them, but still make sure that they're getting points for placement, even the points for the eliminations that they are able to secure. Those do go a long way, and especially here, it's regular season game 5, right? This is it. You don't want to miss any opportunity to put points in your team's pocket.
Yeah, and it's for the love of the game, as we like to say. We have a coach who is not paid this year, but will get paid next year, but still comes in nonetheless. And we just always say for the love of the game, and that's those kind of people you just love to hang around. So can't say enough about the person who does it anyway.
Absolutely, we love all sorts of those types of people in esports. So you got that's what we're here to do. We're here to have a good time for the love of the game. Roy Main loving the game as he is in a little bit of a skirmish here. Another solo operation, but Roy Main, I mean, built different. Is that fair to say? Benjamin Rush taken out here. Roy Main has put up incredible numbers season after season. He's a national champion, Visible, and he's looking to put a couple points in the pocket of the Yarks Fortniters in a 1v2 situation. It's a surgical takedown. He's got the first member of the duo eliminated, but that's the thing about being a solo, Visible, is you got to do it twice. And when you step out of our spectatable area, you've got to do it off camera as well. So unfortunate. We'll keep an eye on the elimination feed. We get to see 2AM Jeff taking out a nice elimination there onto Keeg the Destroyer. LeBron on top gets a picks on an extra, but really I haven't seen Roy Main pop back up, Visible. So that actually means that there is hope for the roster that they were sailing onto previously. Boost reset, Keeg the Destroyer.
Mammy Merchants.
The Mammy Merchants. Keeg the Destroyer just getting reloaded here. And so they are still alive and well. But let's look over to Tilted Towers, where we have Steph Curry, my GOAT, and LeBron Ora on top. It's the Carolina Storm Academy, seed number 1. And man, the playable area, Visible, it's fighting us. They don't want us to see these matches. They don't want us to see the spectacular things our players are threatening to do in this lobby right now. We'll hang out with 2AM Jeff, and hopefully our spectator will calm down just a little bit here. We're at Lil Loot Lake, not to be confused with its older brother, Loot Lake. 2AM Jeff has 1 eliminate in match number 3 so far.
And 2AM Jeff, I'm imagining that I'm not actually sure if I can see his gamer tag here. It could be NCA Platinum or could be Roughnecks Red. We've seen
I think
Leon
this actually
over
is Roughnecks Blue. I
Roughnecks Blue.
think I have the critical information that this is Roughnecks Blue. So the
Beautiful.
Roughnecks Blue roster, not a top 10 team visible. They have been playing from the bottom for a lot of the season, but so far, if you're keeping an eye on the standings, which of course we're able to do round after round, they've had a good day today. They're getting eliminations even right now to be not a top 10 team, having getting eliminations as a solo, having that 1 point that we see on their screen right now. Pretty solid performance. I'm not exactly sure what the strategy here is of playing from the storm. Maybe trying to get looted up or make a late rotation into the circle. But in any case, we'll keep an eye on 2 a.m. Jeff as this game proceeds. Early enough that circle's not doing too much damage to you if you are stuck outside. But still, good to see the Roughnecks Blue roster head held high, playing some confident Fortnite here today. Boost reset, hanging out in Tilted Towers, probably just waiting for the circle. Gonna push them out a little bit here, make the last minute rotation into the circle, and see what our next circle has in store for us. We can take a look at our map here. A lot of the teams kind of localized in the southern portion of the circle now. Some teams even fighting. Now Roy Main with a big rotation away. Keeg the Destroyer, boost reset. And the team at center of mass will tune into him. It's Carolina Storm Academy. It looks like they may have just rushed down BDS Talk there near the Lone Lodge.
And yeah, a bad place to get caught out when you have the top team run you down when you're over a lake. Just
That is
a
unfortunate.
nightmarish position to be in. Not a lot of build space. Yeah, not great there, but nonetheless. Moving on for LeBron, or on top, getting some shots on. What is the situation here? We've lost that. The map is back. I just had to complain about it. And
That's what we do
we're not
best.
really getting full intel here. They're getting just kind of not pelted, but getting tickled a little bit from the ridge over there. And it's the team in pink there, just to the south of the map. And then looks like both teams are going to decide against this engagement at this stage.
The team in pink is actually Yark's Team Z, so it is kind of nice to see, again, a team that's not threatening top 10 playing on such a confident position. I think we have to tune in here to OG Leon. It looks like the Roughnecks Red are in a skirmish right now, visible. I'm not sure exactly who it's against, but it is very close and competitive. Remember, the Roughnecks Red, they just put together a fantastic demonstration of their ability in the previous round. And are we actually not going to be able to see the end of this Roughnecks Red? No, exiting the spectating area, visible. Our regular season match day number 5. The gameplay is fantastic, but our spectating is just cursed. Not being able to spectate some of these big fights. But we mentioned before, there was a little bit of a skirmish going on with Yark's Team Z. Roy Main is dangerously low after getting that elimination. You can see in the kill feed there onto Benjamin Rush. Now Roy Main probably looking to escape. You can see the skirmish that's above them. Let's tune in a little bit better here. Benjamin Rush, hard case. And then we also have Carolina Storm Academy from that top position. So here they are pushing into who I believe to be Yark's Team Z. We'll get the confirmation of that shortly as somebody's going to be entering the kill feed. LeBron Aura on top, looking to get in the box with this player, and Steph Curry's getting aggressive as well. Big damage onto hard case. Hits Alpha Esports Red, or Wolfpack Red if you will. Visible, they got that first elimination, but I think there is still another player somewhere in the woodwork, unless that was the full duo elimination.
Yeah, I think that was the full duo there.
Yeah, no, it looks like they have the area cleared, so a couple extra points there for Carolina Storm Academy. Very confident roster. They don't have a win on the day, Fizzable, notably, as our rank 1 team, the most wins acquired, with 8 coming into this match day. 8 match wins. They haven't got one today.
8 match wins and I believe hovering around 200 elims entering the day. Just ridiculous totals.
Well, they're looking for a couple more.
League too.
Yes. Into the box here, Steph Curry is able to get that elimination on to next rev. I think it's going to be a little bit of a stabilize here, but there's still a couple of players. If you look at the minimap, this area is not entirely cleared quite yet.
Just over this little covered bridge. What team? They know they're there, clearly. I'm not sure what team it is quite yet, but they have a decent advantage. They have the first move. I think the team below has definitely figured out they're hunkering down. It does get a little bit
Impulse
dangerous
nade.
when you're trying to crack the shell open, but they get away. That looked like a Miles Morales flinging through the air there.
Yeah, which would be Roymain if my skin knowledge is correct. Roymain was rocking that a little bit ago. So even though it's a 2v1 situation, and even though it's Carolina Storm Academy, that's the Roymain threat. I really think Roymain could have a chance there. Definitely advantage to Carolina Storm Academy having two players and being the team that they are, but Roymain is not a player that can be slept on. So as this push continues, this could be really exciting. Big damage lands there from Steph. We're watching it from LeBron's POV, who is going to get that last bit of damage. It's Keeg the Destroyer, though. Roymain is in the dust. He's actually right there. Visible playing nearby.
Oh, gets gold gun possibly. Might not have time to grab. Doesn't actually opts out of that. Still just chasing down the last player here, and they just zoom right off. And once again, Miles Morales is off to the races.
Off to the races, Visible. They are in the dust, in the wind. See if
All we
we
are
do
is
have
dust
Team
anyway.
Z. Roughneck's Red is still around, and there's Miles Morales. Taking damage. Not perfectly evasive, but still alive, which says a lot, and that is going to be the knock. 7 eliminations for Royman as a solo. Not bad at all. LeBron and Steph Curry proudly claiming that elimination as they are looking at 9 eliminations for their duo. A very strong place to be. Yark's Team Z. Incredible performance today. They have racked up many points. I'm excited to see where they're at on the standings after this because they are performing a little bit above their weight class for what they have been putting up this season. They're performing better than that, and that's exactly what we want to see from a team this late in the season. We want to see that improvement, especially going into a match where all scores are set to 0, like the playoffs here, the postseason,
Yeah,
I should
love
say.
to see that. Exactly. So focused Slayer, Grouchy of Yark's Team Z, being a solid team, middle table team. Don't have a win yet on the year, but rack up a decent amount of eliminations and or shall we
Maybe one more.
say, getting their feet wet in our league. So the first year is very important to get going, and the rest of it should fall in place for them.
No, absolutely. There's been a lot of improvement from this roster. Looking for a couple eliminations now. Would be nice if they could get that for sure. Again, oh, nice damage landing here from Grouchy Ethan Kitty.
It's a patient fight. Oh my gosh, it's patient until everything went wrong there for Yark's
Who
Team
is it
Z,
on this assailing
unfortunately.
side? It's Steph Curry, Visible. This is a team.
Of course it is.
They were taking a shot against the current GOATs, the current greatest of all spring season. That's what GOAT stands for, Visible. LeBron now. Steph Curry with a couple extra points. Is that the full elimination for Team Z? It might have been. It looks like it was. So we are down to just a few teams left in this lobby. Boost Reset is now the one that Carolina Storm Academy have their eyes set on. And when they set their eyes on a target, very rarely does that target get to walk away. This is the type of momentum we're used to seeing, Visible, from this roster. Carolina Storm Academy, OG Leon as a solo, the only thing standing in the way of them walking away with another win. It would be their 9th win this season, Visible. OG Leon of the Roughnecks Red roster, very strong player, very strong team, but he is a solo.
Yeah, and when you're going solo against the top team in the league at the moment, odds are stacked against you, but you can pull it out. You just gotta basically be perfect, especially with the health pool right now. Has to be clinical, has to hit every single shot. It's a lot of pressure. It is admittedly a very difficult situation here, but at the end of the day, if you finish the second, you're not too mad. Does miss the shotgun, but does not take the damage, so still lives to fight another few seconds here at least.
This is dangerous. Now that they know where you are positioned, OG Leon is going to be receiving a ton of pressure from both of the players. It was a good opening when he had the element of surprise, but it's not going to be enough and Visible. It's Carolina Storm Academy with their 9th win of the Spring Series competition. And we are in. It's match number 4 of the 5th competition day in the Spring Series Fortnite competition. This is going to be good. This is where it all ends. This is the last opportunity for teams to get points for the regular season to determine their final standings going in to the postseason competition. Hogleg Killer, Falkers Rider, they're getting set up right now. Same with Carolina Storm Academy, who just ended match number 3 with a very confident win there. Running over teams, it seemed, in the last bit of that lobby there. An incredibly confident demonstration of their mechanical ability. They're on top right now, and realistically, they have a strong lead. It's going to be difficult to dismantle them from that top podium position. We'll see where they land at the end of this competition day, this last match now. Hard Case and Benjamin Rush of the Wolfpack Red roster have been putting up great numbers today. And where will the standings land? That is ultimately the question. Hard Case shooting at something just beyond our field of view. Actually, no, we can't see them. They are just single pixels back there. Hard Case with the absolute laser beams, but attracting a little bit of attention. This could be sketchy for Wolfpack Red, but they're making it work and getting an elimination there onto LeBron on top. Both 2 players now knocked here. We need Benjamin Rush to get active in this position, but I don't know where they are. Nowhere to be found is the duo. Benjamin Rush getting looted up elsewhere. And this is an interesting strategy that we've seen teams put in throughout the regular season. As much as I would like to have seen Wolfpack Red take such an aggressive fight with somebody like Carolina Storm Academy and deny them so many points that they could get in this game. Ultimately, the strategy here from Wolfpack Red, separate your players to guarantee those early game reloads. And honestly, it's a strategy that I do not hate in the reload format. Benjamin Rush keeping the team alive. Hard Case with 2 knocks there, 2 elimination points in the pocket, and back up ready to fight. Actually, we do get to see a knock. I thought that we were just poking here from Roughnecks Red, but they're going to get a full elimination there onto Vital Ranger, and they're going to push the advantage here and get the loots, reap the benefits of their elimination there. And already, this is early game. Roughnecks Red sitting on 6 eliminations. What a confident way to start the match, and it looks like their fight's not over yet. Not sure who has pushed the advantage against them, but it is a 1v2 situation at least for now. OG Leon getting knocked. It's LeBron Aura on top. And suddenly, Roughnecks Red, on the back of such a strong opening, have been overcome and overtaken by Carolina Storm Academy, who just appeared out of the woodwork to find those 2 eliminations. And that is a devastating way for that round to result if you are the Roughnecks Red. I mean, what a strong opening to get 6 eliminations so early. You're really setting yourself up for a great round, and then suddenly, Carolina Storm running through like a steam-powered engine and taking everything over there. Great play by them, now sitting at 6 eliminations themselves. Gonna rotate into circle here. Still a fair bit of Fortnite to be played. And it looks like they are pushing onto another team, at least taking some shots now. Take a look at our map. It looks like the only other team in their area is the Wolfpack Red roster. We spectated them previously. Let's see what Benjamin Rush is up to, because he's very, very near this rotation from Carolina Storm Academy. Looks like, for now, smooth sailing, sunny skies. Not too pressured by the threat of a fight here. So Benjamin Rush is just going to keep getting looted up and preparing for the late game. It's going to be an important late game. Boost reset and Keeg the Destroyer. They have a high ground position. That's good, but damage landing on them from multiple angles. Keeg the Destroyer is in a sticky situation, holding the wall as best he can until hopefully Boost reset is able to get active in the mix as well. And Boost reset does get an elimination onto Hogleg Killer, but Keeg does drop, and it's to none other than Carolina Storm Academy, who have picked up a lot of momentum in these last 2 matches of the day. LeBron Aura on top of the builds right now, has the high ground position, trying to find the shots onto the evading player there, not able to find them quite yet. Some shots landing here, but ultimately that player is alive and well, and LeBron has other things to deal with as there is still another player in these builds. Hits the impulse nade, and still is going to get dropped. That's Hard Case. Wolfpack Red losing 1 player there, but if I'm not mistaken, their duo was able to run out of the fight and actually is going to be able to keep them alive in this lobby. Such a good play if that is actually the result. Falkers Rider, and Hogleg Killa both doing alive and well as well. On the outskirts of the circle, no real threat of falling into a fight right now. And right now, Carolina Storm Academy, they are the threat. They are running everything that moves down. Chesburger is now taking shots. Next drive on the opposite angle may be able to help. But ultimately, it is going to be a full elimination. That's from Boost Reset this time, actually. So this time, Carolina Storm Academy not the only people doing the damage. Next Trev just lost the duo there. Going to have to rotate and try to play this one smart. Hoping for a reload to still come through. I believe reloads are still available at this point. You can see Chesburger is lifted back up. And now just going to be able to kind of lick their wounds and look to fight another day. Hanging out in Lizard Links right now, but we have at least 2 teams in the area and more in the surrounding space as well. We can see Jay Strikers is sketchily close, and I don't think Chesburger is aware. Jay Strikers is hunkering down, as we like to say, holding this position in the attic. Definitely hears all the activity around them, but I think is looking to play this one slow, working as a solo right now. Here's an impulse nade, wants to get away from all that chaos, but unfortunately I think they might just be rotating right into a whole new set of chaos, and they are not going to stop for even a second. No hesitation, rotation after rotation. The impulse nades have taken them a long distance, but still, are they safe? And it doesn't look like that's the case. Jay Striker's continuing to take damage here, continuing to stay on the move. Maybe, just maybe, have successfully escaped a lot of this damage here. Let's move over to Steph Curry and LeBron of Carolina Storm Academy. They're doing a lot of damage. They do get an elimination onto Hardcase. Looks like they've cleared this one out. They're going to be able to reap the spoils. Get some nice new equipment going into the last couple of fights that are left here in this regular season Fortnite competition. We are down to 11 players left in the duo, 11 players left in the lobby, representing 6 separate duos now. Chesburger next rev. They are going to be getting into the mix. Steph Curry tried to push the bush, but that was just not the right play. They did not know that Chesburger was ready to gun them down. That is incredibly sketchy. Although I believe we are going to see a reboot for Steph Curry. That is an incredibly risky play there. We are very close to reloads no longer being available, and if Steph Curry would have been knocked in that way, that would have been a very challenging situation. But LeBron finds the shot when nobody expected it. Certainly not myself. Valkyrie's Rider is sent back to the loading screen after some incredible movement and quick reaction time to land that shot there. And just like that, Carolina Storm Academy are back in business. Steph Curry's back up, rebooted, 13 eliminations and counting for Carolina Storm Academy in this lobby. A force to be reckoned with. They want to set the tone going into the postseason. They want to say that we are the seed 1 and we intend to remain that way. But so many teams want to shut that down and want to prove that not to be the case. Here's a dive from LeBron. Once again, we saw it a moment ago. More shots continuing to land, breaking through the mats and not stopping there. Trying to get into the box. There's the edit. And a great shot onto Chesburger. Right-hand peek. It's just a masterclass textbook gameplay here from Carolina Storm Academy to get pick after pick, elimination after elimination. And they are going to be very, very well kitted going into our final storms here. Wolfpack Red, they'll be in the mix as well. Just a couple of eliminations, but they are formidable, certainly so. Carolina Storm Academy non-stop fighting for this duo today. They're still looking for an opportunity to get more points. LeBron is knocked, trying to prevent them from getting full knocked there. And now I'm going to have to keep an eye on this because I don't know if LeBron is going to be able to take advantage of the reload. This could be a disaster for Carolina Storm Academy. At this point, we don't see LeBron rebooted. And so that means that Steph Curry is going to be running as a solo for Carolina Storm Academy for the rest of this round. They have 14 points in eliminations alone, and Steph Curry certainly capable of playing well and maybe putting this together as a solo, but still it's going to be much, much more difficult now, especially with that landing. That's a lot of damage onto Steph Curry, who is now continuing to be pushed. I'm not sure which team is on the attacking side. Good maneuvers here from Steph Curry to regain a valuable position. Takes a ton of damage and is down to just a sliver of HP. Has to rely on the builds to get the high ground position and keep themselves alive. Just give themselves enough time to crack a mini. That is going to happen. Still a sliver of HP. The aggressor's not letting up at all, and it ends up being hard case of Wolfpack Red finding the elimination onto Carolina Storm Academy and shutting out their opportunity for a second win. A lot of points are going to be denied to that roster there, but Carolina Storm Academy, they found so many points before that point even. And now we're at the podium. The final 3 teams, 200 IQ Dread, 2AM Dog, North Carolina Platinum roster here. We also have the Wolfpack Red roster really looking to prove themselves. They've been circling around that top 5 range all season. Can they make it into the critical top 4 to auto-qualify for the postseason competition proper? Benjamin Rush and Hardcase, 4 points for them, but 2 of them, the most important ones, onto Carolina Storm Academy. Jay Striker's a solo right now in this game. Player number 5 does not have any eliminations. We saw them previously avoiding conflict, just trying to stay alive and well to make it to this point. It's a good strategy. A lot of points into their hands for that. But how are they going to put it together in the end game? We want to see them turn a good hunker down strategy into potentially a victory royale. You might do it with one single elimination, but that's what we're looking for at this point for Jay Strikers. The big story, Wolfpack Red versus North Carolina Platinum. 2 last remaining duos. The third party from Jay Strikers could be critical, but these 2 duos are going to have to figure out how to work around one another and how to position themselves accordingly. I don't know if they're aware, they are relatively close to Jay Strikers' position, but Jay Strikers still seeming to be playing the slow strategy. Damage is now landing. This is going to get very, very sketchy. Wolfpack Red just trying to keep themselves alive, put themselves in some sort of advantage position. North Carolina Platinum, they have the high ground position. Looking for the opening. Almost there. A window of opportunity not incredibly well seized, but still good disciplined position from North Carolina Platinum until now. Shots landing a little bit. Impulse Nade comes out from 2AM Dog. It is a messy, scrappy skirmish here between these 2 teams. 200 IQ Dread has the high ground position, and this is what I like to see. Laser beam coming through. Jay Striker's position has been sniffed out as well. You have to consider all your variables if you want to be able to take the best spots here. 200 IQ Dread is making a rotation to try to sniff out the solo. You want to clear up those loose ends, let you properly focus on ending this game. And eliminating Jay Strikers may be the way to do it. Jay Strikers with the Impulse Nade. And a counter rotation executed here. I mean, it is funny that we see different teams like North Carolina Platinum trying to sniff out this solo, but Jay Strikers is the golden snitch. He's impossible to catch, continuously moving and moving and moving to remain safe, and has made it all the way to the podium using the strategy, looking for an opportunity. Shots almost landing there. That could have been an incredible way to turn the script here for Jay Strikers, almost making the rotation into the box as well. Gonna hunker down once again. Hard case, Wolfpack Red, they're on the low ground, but the impulse nades are such a added component to this game. Can give anybody the high ground at any moment, and that's exactly what Hard Case has done. 3 teams, scrappy fight here. Somebody looking for the damage, but everybody playing with enough of a disciplined position that it makes it very, very difficult to do that. This storm is getting claustrophobic. Hard Case looking for the damage here. Benjamin Rush is on the low ground. The split positioning from Wolfpack Red is very, very interesting. North Carolina Platinum trying to push to a high ground position of their own, but Hard Case is doing their best to shut that down. Impulse Nade takes North Carolina Red into the storm. That can't be ideal. That's going to be a lot of damage onto, it looks like 2AM Dog might have been taking that damage, and there's the full knock. Finally, Hard Case pushes the first domino down, and then the dominoes continue to fall as Benjamin Rush is eliminated by 200 IQ Dread. There's 3 players, there's 3 separate teams in this final storm right now. And suddenly, Jay Strikers went from a solo against 2 duos to an entirely evened playing field. 200 IQ Dread getting healed up. Jay Strikers with potentially the most optimal position in the lobby, holding this high ground, looking for the opportunity to gun down the last solos and find a victory royale for their own.
three incredibly formidable players standing in this lobby. Hard Case with the single most eliminations out of them all. Wolfpack Red hoping to rely on those mechanics, and it's going to be an elimination onto 200 IQ Dread. That's North Carolina Platinum finishing in third for the final lobby, the final reload match of the Spring Series competition. And it's Hard Case, 6 eliminations and a med kit. This is going to come down to the heels unless J Strikers can close the distance, and they do. Hard Case is now forced to take the gunfight, dropping dangerously low, trying to go back to the medkit, healing up on the back of it, and it is going to be the Storm taking out J Strikers. Hard Case finds the win. It's Wolfpack Red with the final win of the Spring Series competition and a scrappy, skirmishy, and incredible ending to match number 5. Let's look at our final standings for the Spring Series now. Here it is, Carolina Storm Academy, confident ending, potentially the most points ever secured in a single Fortnite season here at the AEA. 441 points on the back of 251 eliminations with 9 wins throughout the season. Absolutely incredible, the performance that roster has been able to put on this season. But look at the places just below them. Place 2 all the way down to like 5 or even the 7th position arguably are all very competitive with one another. Roughnecks Red ending pretty confidently in that 2nd position, I will say, but specifically this distance between the Yarks Fortniters and North Carolina Gold, 23 points. 23 points. That is the amount of points that these teams are able to secure in a single round. That's a single round of being eliminated early instead of making it just a little bit further. That separates these podium teams. That is how competitive this postseason is going to be. I like looking down further. When you get to somebody like the Wolfpack Red roster, who we just saw clean shop in the last round, they're sitting in the 7th position. They only have 128 points on the season, but they are able to take out teams like Carolina Storm Academy. And we have 2 weeks before our postseason competition. That's 2 weeks of practice and VOD review that these players are going to be able to put in. And if you're hungry enough, a team like Wolfpack Red can absolutely turn 1 or 2 fight wins against Carolina Storm Academy on the season into a consistent ability to find those fight wins against those top teams like Carolina Storm Academy. But same goes for Carolina Storm Academy, who can do their own VODs, do their own disciplined practices, and keep themselves on top. It is going to be an absolute battle. Yarks Team Z is definitely a team that I want to shout out. They've broken into the top 10. We mentioned they weren't there before, and they were really, really putting up in these matches today. They were making it to final storms, making it to the final circles, getting eliminations, and taking fights against the top teams like they didn't care. They were being confident, taking the engagement shots, and we love to see that from a team that isn't even in our top 5 right now, proving that they absolutely can hang out with the best of them. It just makes me that much more excited for the postseason, getting to see these teams face off in a qualifier match and then making it to the proper postseason. So your top 4 teams on this list going to be automatically qualified, and all other teams are looking for a final selection of slots in the qualifier rounds. It's all going down in 2 weeks, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all for hanging out with us today and watching these matches, the final match day of the regular season for the spring season. It's been a great, fantastic time in the reload game mode, and I cannot wait to see what comes up with the postseason matches. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your evenings.